Hello, Warriors. Well, it wasn't really a hawkish easing yesterday, and the dollar is heading towards a long talked about 98 level. So I just want to express something that just because you have a price that you're looking for, it's how it gets to that price as well. So we're still not at 98. I'm figuring 97.10 to 97.60 seems to be lining up with what's going to happen next week with the BOJ and what's going to be happening with the change of seasons and the solstice next week. So I'm sure this is giving a lot of confidence to the dollar bears because, really everything looks pretty ugly. I talked about a rally in the euro up towards 1740 for a sale. I didn't do it. So you're asking me why? And because the RSI has too much momentum for me right here to want to fade it, and it needs to do a little work. So I could be patient and know that right now, with the Euro Bulls having the edge here, that I could wait for some distribution before I jump in. Um, the I did buy as I did a scalp after the number down here yesterday. I said be a buyer at 5.5, so it rallied for about 70. You should have taken something off the table. There was anywhere from 40 to 70 after that, and then BE stopped. So looking at the end right now, it's an I don't know. Now it's looking more like this was a failing rally and we're going to have some type of ABC, maybe into the meeting, dollar weakness before we get another push up. Aussie is one of the only ones. Actually, the trade survived. We did not take out the high of the move, which is back here at 67.10, not that far away. Let's see, what's the high here? Yeah, oh 07, so about 35 pips away. Actually, this morning it was the only one not making new highs. It still hasn't yet. So staying with the relative weakness, maybe Aussie will come off. It probably came off because of what happened in Oracle yesterday, and futures were down sharply. They're recovering now. Taking a look at gold and silver. So gold making hay. I said I want to see where the metals are at. One were around 98 in the Dixie, said that on Maggie's show, have been saying it here. So this is really the metals' chance to make a last hurrah. Silver is about to make a new high, and I'm considering short here at new highs today. You'll see if I post in the room. I think that this gold silver ratio is so overdone right here, and look at the divergence you're getting on a 1 hour. I don't know if we have anything on the four. Probably still looks pretty weak. Well, it's still under 30, but a big squeeze, and I may attempt this short sometime today in the silver. We're not going to confirm here on the 4 hour. We're diverging on the daily, but it's not ideal. I'm more interested that I think the fact that the gold silver ratio might be turning, that off the 1 hour, I'm going to try a three drive up here and maybe risk 50 cents. Usually you don't get any kind of big turns today, but we'll see. I think it's worth a probe. Let's get to risk. Okay. This surprised me. Okay, that we're back above the breakdown line. So if you bought puts, trade's bad, looked good yesterday, doesn't look good today. So, you have to get out of the way. If you played the breakout, I covered puts when I saw this. So this didn't work. Um, Crude's on its way to new lows here. So I think we're there. So this is going to be setting up something at new lows. Um, you know, Picked up some money on this swing. Thought we were going to break out, didn't happen. So, when you capture an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, and that doesn't make the market rally, that's an issue. even that gas giving back plenty from where it was just a few days ago. So the energy part of the trade, I think it's a wait and see, but I am expecting a major buying opportunity in oil into early next year. Want to talk a little bit about risk. So the S&Ps had a decent day. Yesterday they came in, they were down about 40 yesterday, but I'm still not that impressed. I know we were up yesterday and we're only a stone's throw away from new highs for the move, but some of the things that I'm negative on really didn't do much. Here's semiconductor index down pretty sharply. I'm sure that's because of Cisco. Um, Bitcoin I wanted to cover because when we had everything ripping to the upside, you had equities ripping, you had metals ripping, you had the dollar selling off, and Bitcoin couldn't do anything. Okay. In a tailwind risk on environment, what's going to happen if we get a sell off in the S&Ps? Well, this confirmed low keeps me bearish. I think we'll be under 80 grand. This has got to be very disappointing to Bitcoin people watching risk on in equities and in silver and in everything but this. Still looks like it's a short to me for new lows. Bear flag. And let's see what else I wanted to cover. Yeah, Uber really fell apart. I talked about it yesterday when we were, here, that we negated the line right here. And look at that follow through. We're almost back to the lows of late November in a matter of a few days. Any rip now towards 88, I would sell. There are some pretty massive downside targets at these speed lines, and I have confluence all the way down here under 60, where I have a weekly moving average coming in, and it's barely just holding the 50 week. This is a 200 week. So Uber looks very vulnerable to me. Here's another look at it. So that didn't do much. Um, when I look at the mags, well, first let's go to NVIDIA. They've thrown the kitchen sink. They're like, we're gapping down today in NVIDIA. They threw the kitchen sink, letting NVIDIA sell these semiconductors to China. The week before, they were going to do something with China. The CEO came to the White House, and this market never really put any pressure on you, this stock. Rotation was into other things like Broadcom, but this is pretty negative action. You guys know I've been standing by a high conviction call for the mid 150s in NVIDIA. So that doesn't look good. Here's Broadcom. They report after the close. They're diverging up here. And just wanted to show that Palantir had a decent update, but that could still be a failing rally. Want to show what the Mag 7 is doing because, we're only a stone throw away from new highs in the S&Ps. And I've been talking about this. Is this a right shoulder with a neckline at 2.5 or one more high? Anyway, that action does not look good to me. I did get a request from one of our viewers to take a look at um, the cannabis stocks, MSOS. So here we are. It's unchanged on the day. You know, I think it has to reclaim four for it to do better. But if I'm right, there still is some type of risk off event coming here in the next month or so. And also tax loss selling because most people own this from down here. I mean, from up here, I mean, way up here. So they're probably at losses. I don't know a lot of people that were buying cannabis here. So there still could be some tax loss selling. I'm being patient. I actually think that there's a shot, and let's say go ahead and reclassify that we might even be able to see this is 78.6 back. One more flush or retest. Anyway, I haven't bought it yet. But that's what we've held right here on the daily, 78.6 back. So if you're long, you don't want to see that taken out. I hope that helps. And getting back above 4 would be constructive, saying that this A, B, C is over. And I think that covers it. Oh, yeah, I did want to talk about some of the yen crosses, which are working pretty good today. So here's the Aussie yen's down hard, and I've been looking for a top in some of this stuff, especially Euro yen. This was a triangle. Maybe they could generate something if the yen gets going, but I'm looking at this as being a terminal thrust out of a wave 4, and that there's a major top developing. Here's your daily glaring divergence. So I think the euro yen, especially after this euro rally ends, is going to be a pretty good short, especially after the yen breaks down. So that's a wrap for me, everyone. Let's be patient. We have the solstice next week. We'll see how much juice we have on this euro. But right now, I'm not going to step in front of it and short it when we're getting confirming highs on that. And let's see, is silver almost up there? So we're about 20 cents away from making a new high in silver. There's a little selling coming over, and keep an open mind that it's a trade. I'm talking about a trade here. I'm not talking about um, $40 silver, not at this point. I think a natural would be if there is a correction, since 50 was such a big deal. If you go back to the monthly, 50 was everything prior historical highs. So maybe that's where we get a pullback to 50, right back to this high where it stalled before we start to go again. I still think that's possible. All right, everyone. So have a great day. Uh, One other thing I did want to show, because people did ask me about the Nifty, and I said the Nifty looked heavy. I think I made one more attempt for a high. I'll just wrap it with the DAX. Okay, here's the DAX. I don't know if it has new highs in it or not. I know some people are bullish China, but I don't like the action in BABA. Um, I don't like the action in FXI compared to what's happening in our markets and European markets. And let's see the Nifty. Where are you? Okay. You think I watch enough things, guys? Don't do this. Don't watch all these things. Well, let's see what Tesla looks like. Eh, could be vulnerable. Okay, here's the Nifty. Looks like a top to me. Look what it held. So under today's lows, 24.8 is viable. So don't just count your charts like I do. Have 1 million charts on my screen. Count your blessings. I don't know if you have a million of them, but I bet you have plenty. Think about them. And we'll wrap up the week tomorrow, TGIF. Don't forget to check in and on trades and things that we're doing here in our Discord room on TradeGateHub. It's free. Um, you can, definitely. Let me see here. There we go. See my calls here. See Mike's calls here. So I'm in a few Discord rooms, but TradeGateHub, it's free, no pressure. We're not selling a subscription. Sponsored by TradeView Markets. If you're looking for another broker, TradeView's got a great rep. So that's the end of this, and I'll see everyone tomorrow. Check in and become part of our community and do some posting. You'll become a better trader if you post, because you're only going to want to put out your good work, and you're kind of accountable for making calls. Everyone knows that everyone could be wrong. No one's rooting for your failure in here. We all just want to support each other in this very difficult endeavor. Adios.